talk about the fake ASS TikTok ban. What happened? What happened with TikTok? It's
Oh
up
my
and
God, y'all.
running.
Let me tell y'all. So, what day was this? It was this. So, remember from last week's episode, the Supreme Court had basically approved and upheld the ban for TikTok if TikTok did not sell to American whatever, whoever from America was going to buy it, they be good, fine, and dandy. So they basically approved it for TikTok to be shut down. And what was Sunday the 18th? I believe was Sunday the 18th.
I
It
don't know, but
no,
they
it was
know last Sunday.
right. So they approved for TikTok to be shut down on Sunday, January 19th, right? And everybody was like, we was all sitting here, we're like, Shayla was even like, they not gonna do it. I'm like, nah, they not gonna do it. They're chatting. Baby, not even 12 o'clock didn't even hit. People's TikToks were getting snatched from them at 8 p.m. Eastern time for us. Whatever that is for y'all, some people's TikToks started getting snatched at 8. I literally Shayla had to go to bed at like I think by 10. I'm on the phone with Shayla, like Shayla, I'm finna crash out. If I miss work, it's because of this, it's because of that. Da, 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 da.
I couldn't miss history. I had to stay up because I was like, girl, like this is let me
Actually,
put a
let me
history
fact
book.
check myself. I'm lying to y'all. It was supposed to go into the ban was implemented on Sunday, January 19th, but people's TikToks were getting snatched from them on Saturday evening, is what I meant to say. So me and Shayla on the phone with each other. I'm like, yo, I'm about to crash out. Shayla's like, bruh, they're chatting. Like literally people's like messages on people's phones were popping up, right? But let's talk about the real glaze, like the real deriding. Let me go to Shayla and I's messages because it was giving deriding extraordinaire. Like it was giving reverse cowgirl. I'd never seen nothing like this in my life. So when TikTok stopped working and everything like that, right? This message had basically popped up and it said a law banning TikTok has been enacted in the US. Unfortunately, that means you can't use TikTok right now. Next paragraph. We are fortunate that President Trump has in indicated that he will work with us on a solution to reinstate TikTok once he takes office. Please stay tuned. Y'all is deriding so hard. Y'all gonna have a baby in 9 months. Like that's literally what it's giving. I never seen nothing like that, right? And then TikTok comes back. Literally, the ban didn't even last 24 hours. Literally, people are getting their TikToks back at like 3 p.m., 2 p.m., 4 p.m., right? TikTok comes back. And it's just like, thanks with the help with President Donald Trump. Don't piss me off.
So that to that note, this is why I felt the way I felt is because at first it started off as being a security threat, right? Like this is essentially why Donald Trump went back way back when he started all of this mess. He felt like, there was a security issue. So that's how this passed. And then now all of a sudden now it has become a political thing, right? Donald Trump, one of the executive orders that he signed was a 75 day extension to this quote unquote ban. And now instead of them having to sell 100% to like a US based owner or whatever, now it's only like, well, 50%, right? Like you need to sell 50% of TikTok to like a US billionaire because no one buying TikTok for crumbs, honey. It's a lot of money. So I just think at first it was like a security thing, and now it has just become a political thing. And I hope I really want to think the best out of us. Don't fall for the trap. Please do not be like, oh, well, TikTok is back because of Trump. Like, y'all are just, listen.
Y'all glazing too. Y'all is a real glazed donut, D-riding right there along with them. Y'all about to have septuplets at this fucking point.
So,
and
us talking about TikTok is never going to end. We'll see y'all back here in 75 days and see if actually someone buys 50% of TikTok.
I just wanted to mention really quickly, a lot of people on TikTok have been talking about how ever since the ban, like when they got TikTok back, like their algorithm has changed. And I feel like mine has changed too. Cause I feel like, I don't know, it's just something different. And like there's a lot of conspiracies that are going on. And if Shayla and I really don't really care about conspiracies because it's like, okay, and what's next? But like people are basically saying that when you look up the LA fires, that like the content that's being posted is not there like that anymore, and that if you want your algorithm to go back to the same, you gotta like block Meta, Facebook, Instagram, like all these different places. And like me being me, I was like, okay, let me try blocking like Meta and stuff like that to see. And I feel like my content is still not the same. Like it's not like the people I was used to seeing, the stuff I was used to watching. Like my TikTok was built very delicately. Like I did not have a white person in sight on my TikTok. Every 3 scrolls, I'm seeing like a Caucasian individual. I'm like, what are y'all doing here?
Yeah, I definitely think that there was some restrictions put in place with, before it was republished or whatever. If they switch a flip, it also shows how, number one, it's scary how dependent we are on a social site. Like I think we also need to breathe and have an internal look. We cannot be depending on an app, and I'll include myself, because when it started to sing a little bit, I'm like, oh my God, what do I do with this? Like I would get my phone and I'd be like, oh, I don't have to scroll. Like I have a life and I can do other things. It is scary. And I think for a bit, even when it came back, I did not want to go back to it because of how hard they were glazing over Trump. It's like, and you guys know how I feel about that man. So it was like a form of like resistance. But then of course I caved in a little bit.